Thanks for joining us today on the What Podcast, helping you to support local, use local and buy local. Letting you know what's happening, what's on and what's on offer in the local area. The What Podcast.
Welcome to the What Podcast. My name is Liam Stone and the What Podcast is brought to you by whatoffers.co.uk, a local podcast and platform dedicated to supporting local businesses wherever you are. So support local, use local, buy local. Now, today's show is sponsored by Carlucci's Restaurant, the oldest Italian restaurant in Dunfermline. You can find them on the bottom of Dunfermline High Street, where you can find some fantastic, authentic Italian food and sitting in a nice, cosy setting. You can also order on their app and enjoy up to 50% off your first order, and they've also got some discounts to their lunchtime menu. So if you fancy some Italian food, then get yourself down to Carlucci's Restaurant in Dunfermline. Now, if you fancy becoming a sponsor of the What Podcast, then you can get in touch with me directly at liam@whatoffers.co.uk, and you can obviously look at sponsoring the podcast for your business. Now, today's show, I'm going to not really talk too much about businesses. A couple of things that I'd seen, and it really went back to what I'd talked about the other week there, which was the problems with the energy costs rising what feels like every day. We're getting close to the warmer weather is going to be disappearing soon, unfortunately. The nights are going to start getting darker, and you're going to be using more lights. You're going to be using, your heating, having to switch that gas on, and people are starting to feel it. I think some people are already having to start to do that, and we obviously have got more price increases ahead of us, and so on and so forth. And one of the posts that really made me think about this was there was an article about a woman who's now cut off from the main grid, and she's gone out and bought candles and camping stoves and gas canisters and all these sort of things, and went in and spent a few £100 to stock up on effectively essentials for the winter, in the hopes that she can get through this without having any energy supply whatsoever. And her intention is to, go to the swimming pools to have a shower, and, she can charge up her power banks and things like that free charge, and, live her life like that. Now, it doesn't seem like a lot of fun. And, whether you agree with what, this person's doing, or whether you disagree with what she's doing, there's two sides of this coin. Is that, she's going to go and charge up her power banks and her phones and whatever else for, local authority facilities where she's got free charging points, and that all sounds fair and well. Then that means that's that money that's coming out for the money that everybody else is paying. So if everybody ended up doing that, then the problem is that, they're just going to put up your council tax or whatever to help cover all their costs as well. And this is the knock-on effect that we have, is that, regardless of how you do it, the electricity is not coming free. So if you're using it somewhere, somebody's still having to pay for it, and, the reality is it always ends up back down to us. So whether you agree with that or disagree with that, you can let me know. But what it did make me think was that we are going to see, and I think personally myself, when you walk down the street at night time or when it's starting to get dark, you're probably going to see less houses with lights on, and you're going to see more people buying candles and using candles at night instead of having to use lights and trying to save a bit of money here and a bit of money there. You hear about all these things. They talk about, switch your plug sockets off. And in an ideal world, that's nice and easy. But, in the houses that they make nowadays, there's often not enough plug sockets. So you've often got things into extensions. The plug sockets are way down behind the sofa or behind the unit. You can't really get to the plug socket. It's, so you have to adjust everything you're doing to try and have the facility to just switch off sockets to save £1 here and £2 there and whatever every year. And the reality is that, we really shouldn't be having to do this, because the simple fact is that, the prices are going up. I mean, who on earth thought that you could put up a price cap 3 or 4 times in a year? And the energy companies are just, reporting these extraordinary profits that they've never made before. Surely there's something that needs to be fixed here. Whether this is the government getting involved, or whether this is, companies or, the big corporations having some sort of sense getting knocked into them where they have a conscience. I'm not sure that's ever going to happen. So I don't know what's going to happen. But like you, like me, we're all worrying about it. We're all talking about it. The one thing that makes me think for a minute is that it's not just us that are going to be affected by this, because if you and me are having to spend more money on the gas, the electric, the fuel for your car, whatever it is that you're running, if we're having to spend more money on all these things, then it's less money that we can use in our day-to-day lives that we always do to help support our local businesses and our local communities and things like that. And the one thing that strikes me is that, especially in local communities, you've got a lot of local charities that help communities in times of need. You think about things like the local food banks and things like that. If they're not getting any more support, and in fact getting less support because the local people have got less money to spend on things that they can give away, these companies still have to pay for the gas and their electricity. Their bills are going to be higher as well, but they've got less coming in. All these local charities and community groups and things like that, they're going to be hit as well. And I'm curious to how they are planning for that and how they might, be able to get through this as well. So forgetting about even the effect on local businesses, it's as a community, I'm interested to know what the local charities are going to be doing and how they're going to be affected. So what we're going to be doing is, over the next several weeks, we're going to be looking to speak to as many of the local charities as possible, and see what they are doing, how maybe we can all help our local charities that are there to help other people, here to help the people that are most in need, and get a bit of an insight for them. So if you run a local charity, or if you work for a local charity, and you would like to talk about what you're doing or how people can help, especially over the next however long this is going to last, then we'd love to have you in. You can, as I say, contact me directly. My email is liam@whatoffers.co.uk. Or if you are a local charity in the Dunfermline and surrounding areas, then perhaps we'll be in touch with you very soon to invite you along to maybe talk about your charity and how people can get involved, and where things you feel are going to go the direction over the next couple of months. So yeah, keep an eye out over the next couple of months for the podcasts that will be coming up. They'll be coming in most likely in addition to their normal Tuesdays and Thursdays podcasts. So we'll be promoting them obviously on our Facebook page and obviously on our main page, as well as all the mainstream listening platforms wherever you're listening or watching. But we'll get them out to you as we get the content coming through from the local charities and get some information on that. And if you've got anything you would like to add, or anything you would like to talk about, or anybody in particular you think has something to say that would like to get in touch, then we'd love to hear from you. For now, I'll leave you with that, and I'll be back on Thursday with the next edition of the What Podcast. My name's Liam Stone, and thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us today. Remember, whatever you need, head over to whatoffers.co.uk or what.live to see more of our podcasts, and join us again to see what's up next.